So here we are back with another one. I hear a lot of strong opinions, online about this, that, and the third. And when talking about men, I hear a lot of opinions about, being stepfathers, whether you should even deal with women in the United States and things of that nature. And there are a lot of strong opinions about this. And the thing about me is, like everyone else, I have a lot of opinions, but I wouldn't per se I have strong opinions one way or the other, because generally speaking, I can see both sides of the conversation, and when it comes to like black men being stepfathers, right? Every situation is unique. Some people just say don't do it, and but and I don't have a issue with that. I don't have an issue with men who don't want to be stepfathers, especially if you don't have any children of your own. Like me, I don't have any children. And so the thought of being quote unquote a stepfather, that's something that you have to really sit down and ask yourself, is that something that you want to do? I've never had an issue with dating a female who had a child, because I've never gone into a situation saying that, yo, I'll be your child's father. That's something that's the conversation that's never taken place with me. If I meet a female and she tells me she has a kid, if I'm interested in her enough, if everything is flowing, the chemistry and this, that, and the third, obviously you understand that that dynamic exists with this young lady or whatever. But at the end of the day, the female that I've dated that had a child, I've never really had an issue with the child's father or anything. It's really never. It's always been like a smooth transition. I don't even like using labels and terms like stepfather and stepchild, and I just don't do any of that. That's if it popped between me and the woman, obviously I'll do right by your child, and that just means that I'll be a positive male influence in your child's life, because obviously the child has a father. And I've always been a firm believer that a man should be able to see his child whenever he wants. That's just me. And who am I to impede a relationship between a father and his child? What go on with you and your child's father has nothing to do with me. And by and large, that's always been the path that I've taken when it comes to like dating a female with a child, because if you are a man and let's say you're over 30 and you don't want to date a single mother, that really limits the pool of women that you're accessible to, if we're really being honest, because 9 times out of 10, yo, she coming with a kid. That's just the game now. It's unfortunate, but again, these are decisions that you have to make and be willing to stand by. And if you're a man who says, "Nah, I don't want to date a woman with a kid," cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, no thing. Like, there's no judgment when it with me, regardless. Which side of the coin that you may flip. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really concern with me. That's why I'm like, I don't have strong opinions one way or the other. And I hear a lot of conversations and debates about, should you just be done with women in this country? and and the thing of it is if you look online with a lot of the rhetoric and nonsense, I can see how you can kind of come to that decision. But again, you have to be grounded in the reality and understand that, yo, a lot of what you hear online and things of that nature is really just it's just conversation pieces. It's just talk. It's not reflective of, the everyday average experience. You know what I'm saying? And I've spoken about it in other videos. I'm like, yeah, yo, you're gonna have bad experiences and things of that nature. That comes with coupling. you know, and but what you do with the bad experiences, you learn from them. And that's the whole thing. You learn and you try not to repeat history. You know, some people are gonna have good luck when it comes to that. Some others are gonna have bad luck. That's just it is what it is. You have to do some self-reflection, reflecting and just, well, what is it about me? Why I keep getting the same results over and over again, but I don't know, man. I just hear a lot of strong opinions, and everybody has such strong opinions about it. And who am I to say who's right and who's wrong? You just have to do what's in your best interest. Like I completely understand the rhetoric behind not dating a single mother, because why are you raising another man's child and things of that? Like I get it on a deeper level, but at the same time, it's just, again, like I said, if you are one of these guys that I'm like, nah, I'm not. If you're not gonna deal with a female with a child and you're over 30s, 9 times 10 you're gonna have to find you a young one. And who really want that headache? You know what I'm saying? Like who really? Me, I couldn't see myself like rocking with like a 21-year-old. Like, what are we gonna talk about? It's hard enough to find a female in your own age bracket that can hold her own in the conversation and things of that nature. Imagine doing that with like a 23-year-old. And it's just like the things that we share in common are gonna be so far and few in between. It's not even gonna be worth the time. Anything beyond physical, bro, is really just gonna be a waste of time. And that may be all that you're looking for. But for me, again, getting back to the stepdad conversation, again, I don't even really like that title, that label. But I've dated females that had a kid, and again, I didn't have any issues because I'm not trying to be your child's father. I'm not. I'm trying to see what's going on with you and me. And if it pop, then obviously that will bleed down to the child. But at the end of the day, man, again, every situation is different. And that's something that I hear so frequently, is that everybody just assume it's the same package every time. And it's not. I've never had a female approach me and be like, well, yeah, I have a child and, we a package deal and all that. Like, I've never had that conversation. If we're conversing and it come up that you have a child, naturally, I understand that, it is what it is. But until we get to that point to where we are actually considering being, exclusive, bruh, like, what are we doing? And I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't want to sit here and seem like I'm just some type of outlier, because again, it's just, this has always been par for the course in the everyday dealings in life that I see around me and things of that nature. It's never really been that big of an issue. It's only been more of an issue with the advent of social media. Now you have, females online telling you have to make this, you have to make X amount of money, and those type of females have always been around. That's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? But again, you either deal with those type of females or not. If those are the standards that she set for the type of men that she want to date, I mean, I can't judge that. You either meet the criteria or you don't. Men, we've been dealing with that forever. We've always dealt with women's preferences. Women have always, you have to be 6 feet tall, or you have to do this, or you have to. You either meet the criteria as a man or you don't. It's really that simple. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, that same criteria and preferences and things that we have, that's always existed as well. It's just like now it's being spoken aloud more frequently by more men, And that's where the issue seems to come in. Like I say, I've always been picky. I've always had my own standards. I've always had my preferences and things of that nature. And I'm not going to bend, you know, any of those things just to appease someone else. I'm like, nah, I'm stand on my own. That's what I do. I have my own preferences and things of that nature. And so a female having a kid is not an out for me. That's not something that now if you got a bad kid, yeah, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like now if you got a little monster, nah, we good on that. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of like again, this is just a perspective just coming from a regular dude just out here doing regular things. You know what I'm saying? And this whole notion of I see a lot of men shaming other men for being stepfathers. I wouldn't take that route. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't take that route because there are a lot of benefits to that dynamic, and I know a lot of people who, I know a lot of guys who have had stepfathers and things of that nature and picked up trades and crafts and other things from men who are biologically not related to them, and so again, to just ignore the positive that can come out of that dynamic and to automatically just assume a man is a simp for dating a female that has a child is kind of wild work to me. You know what I'm saying? Because, yo, the last thing I am is a simp. The last thing I am is a simp. You know what I mean? And so when I hear the rhetoric, I don't take it personal or anything of that nature because I know you're not talking about me. I could meet your criteria as a simp because I've dated females who had a kid before. But at no point in time have I ever compromised myself as a man in any way, fashion, shape, or form at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here just throwing money at women and this, that, and the third for their attention. Bro, nah, that's not even how I move at all. And in terms of a lot of men feel like, well, yo, you almost scraping the bottom of the barrel if you date a single mother, and I'm just like, well, nah, I don't fit that criteria either. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm just a dude, but nah, when it comes to dealing with women, like I say, I got a lot of issues, yo, but dealing with women, not one of them. And so people have to understand that you can't just make these broad sweeping statements and just lump everyone in every situation in as if they're all the same, because they're not. You do have some men out here who are just complete simps. I see them online every day. You know what I mean? And it is actually shameful, but I don't know, man. It's just, again, I have my opinions on a lot of things. A lot of people are gonna disagree with what I'm saying right now, and that's fine. You have to live your life, and I have to live mine. But at the end of the day, again, every situation is different. Every female with a kid is different. Now, if you can, it would be preferable if you don't have a child to meet a female who also doesn't have a child. But the chances of that happening is already slim. Then what makes that dynamic even harder to deal with is the fact that you got to find a female that you can rock with, that you can mesh with, that you have chemistry with. Like, there are so many variables, and to just exclude a large chunk of the female population for one particular reason, I mean, again, do your thing. But if you looking at that math, the math not mathing in your favor, you know what I'm saying? And then you end up in that camp of passport bros and going overseas and all that kind of wildness. And that's a whole nother story, because I couldn't imagine getting on a plane, flying across all these states with all of these women to go overseas to some third world country to link with a chick speaking broken English and no shoes on, and telling myself, yeah, she the one. Okay, I mean, yo. But again, I don't really have strong opinions one way or the other because I can understand both sides. But man, there's a lot of bad females out here with a kid, yo. I mean, it's some bad ones out here with a kid, and, I don't know, man. That's just my opinion. That's just a little bit of, you know, my take on things. Again, not a strong opinion, but I'm always mindful that, I never dismiss opinions just because it doesn't hit my ear right. You know what I mean? You have to be able to see both sides of the coin. And with that being said, man, look, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, do your whole thing, and till the next time.